Keep calm and carry on. Smooth seas never made a skilled sailor. In the darkest times, hope is something you give yourself. That is the meaning of inner strength. These are words that gave me immeasurable comfort during the bottom of my life. And between what I was able to find on Google, my counselor, and the loving support from my family and friends, I was able to climb out of the bottom of my depression and into, well, more average student life at least. But that wasn't enough. Employers aren't looking for the average student. They're looking for the best that they can get. And so I need to be the best that I can be. But how do you do that? What steps do you take? What skills do you develop? That is the question of my research. What leads to success? Well, as a researcher, how do you measure success? Positive psychology hasn't quite figured that out yet, but we do know enough about mental health to measure it. And if anything is a foundation for success, then the abundance of mental health must be. To change the question and use the words of mental health, what allows students to really flourish? Now, you may have heard about emotional intelligence, and that is an important role to play, I believe. It involves your understanding of your own emotions and also how to manage them in yourself and in when you see them pop up in other people. But that's not alone. That's not enough. You might have heard of grit. This concept is perseverance. How long can you commit to a single project? Are you able to plan for years, or is it something that you can get sort of sidetracked? You pick many projects and then you set them down and never finish them. The final concept that I will be looking at in my research is one called hardiness. Hardiness is a number of things, but in a nutshell, it is the willingness to engage in situations that may make you feel anxious or afraid. Things that make it up are control. How much do you believe that you can control your situation, that you can influence the end result, even when things go bad? Commitment. How easy is it to make you quit? How many setbacks need to happen before you say, this isn't worth my time anymore? And challenge. The tendency to see a setback as an opportunity for growth, as opposed to a violation to some right to safety that we might have. Now, psychology has found that each of these concepts in and of themselves have very, very powerful effects and strong connections to both positive functioning and happiness. However, very little research has ever looked at any of these concepts together, and none have looked at all three in a global measure of mental health. This is my research question. I have used several questionnaires in order to assess people's hardiness, emotional intelligence, grit, and mental health. And based on the correlational results, we will be able to determine what the role that hardiness, emotional intelligence, and grit play, or at least shed some light on it. I hope you're as interested in my question as I am, and I hope you'll join me at the You Will Discover conference to hear what I find.